Hey there, hope you're well. Today I've got the Ace of Pentacles as the obstacle. It's kind of interesting, and the Two of Pentacles as the opportunity. So it's kind of cool. We got a kind of very linear sequence. Yeah, let's get started with the Ace of Pentacles. So I think that I think that this card symbolizes the experience, the the very basic archetypal experience of being able to recognize value, not even being able to recognize it, just recognizing value, almost in an uncontrollable fashion. It's just you become aware of the value of something. It takes on a singular focus. So I think it could kind of be like an obsession with, you know, um, the one thing that really matters. I think often this could be the beginning of a whole hierarchy of value. You know, so sometimes people engage in this kind of recursive exploration of that hierarchy of values. What do I want? Well, I want money, but then why do I want money? Well, because I really want that sports car. Why do I want the sports car? Well, because I really want the recognition. Why do I want the recognition? And it kind of goes back and back and back. I think in this case, this is an obstacle. This might symbolize that kind of really narrowly focused attention on just a singular resource without maybe awareness or contemplation of how it fits into a larger picture of how it's maybe just a part of something else, a step along a whole journey through a hierarchy, maybe something even maybe like a paradoxical hierarchy that at its end folds back into its own beginning. You um, I think this is kind of signified pretty well if you consider that each of the suits ending is the beginning of another suit, and really there's this hopefully very enjoyable journey of growth and change and experience that you could take going through all these different steps of all these cards, or of the archetypal experiences that I think these cards symbolize. But yeah, in the case of this being an obstacle, I think as always, this to me this largely signifies some sort of stagnation or being stuck on this one thing. I think this card can also symbolize the just the idea of possession, and it's right at the beginning of the series of, it's the first card of the Pentacles. So I don't think this really relates to a highly conceptualized abstract idea. It's more like a subconscious instinct or an impulse, but I think it could symbolize the impulse of possession, of kind of having the experience of things being desirable insofar as you want to have that thing. And maybe you don't even know, you might not know exactly why. It's just the recognition of some object, some singular object, as something desirable and as something that you want to possess. um, a really advanced kind of Buddhist version of this might be recognizing that there is a that the strongest desire, the thing that is desired the most, is desire itself. People want to have something that they desire strongly, that gives them a lot of meaning, that they're entirely committed to. That's the ultimate meta desire. But yeah, I think this card symbolizes the very raw kind of recognition of something of value, and then this urge to hold it. It reminds me of a time in my life where not just me and some of my friends and myself, peer-to-peer sharing online first became a thing. I was around and I was online when LimeWire, Napster, these different peer-to-peer file sharing things. It's like before torrents. It's just direct downloading from other people on a network. When that was first present, um, I remember recognizing, first of all, the value of the access to all this. Predominantly for me, the thing of interest was music. I was like, I could get all the music. Literally, like anything I think of, it's on there. Someone has it, and I can get it, and I can get it for free. And so it became this incredibly attractive, valuable prospect. Um, one of my friends took it almost a step further. He just started downloading everything, like literally anything he could get his hands on, and burning it to CDRs at the time. He had hundreds of CDRs with just all sorts, like MP3 CDs, so not even audio CDs. It's like hundreds of tracks per one of these discs. And he was backing up and storing stuff that he wasn't even necessarily interested in. He just, like, we were becoming consumed with just, we found this resource, just dig it up while it's there, just mine it, get all we can out of it. It was really hilarious that, you know we weren't really spending any time listening to music. It's not like we were getting this music so we could, in our free time, we can listen to music. We were spending our free time just getting more of it and never really utilizing it. I think, there's an analogy in that story to the kind of negative relationship someone could have with this experience of the perception of the valuable. And very neatly, this brings us to our opportunity, which is literally just the next card in the sequence. Um, and with the two, I think we're dealing with a situation in the world where the value of the perceived value of a thing starts to become contextualized by its relationship to other things. And I think this still just refers to natural phenomena, essentially. We're still at the beginning of the sequence here. We're not talking about the works of humans or the abstract ideas of humans. We're not talking about necessarily the value of information or something like that. And in this sense, I really like the 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 Waite card. Sometimes I think the Waite card takes meaning away or focuses too much on just a small aspect of it. The Marseille card on the left here, it's actually quite decorated compared to a lot of the other ones. This whole banner around it is quite novel in the series, but nonetheless, one of the things I really love about this Waite Smith card is the the really wacky nature of the waves in the background that the ships are on. Wacky. Um, and I think that this, in conjunction with this kind of infinite loop between the two coins, between the two pentacles, to me, this is a pretty good job symbolizing oscillating patterns in nature, seasons, the tide, the tide coming in and out. I think that's what those crazy waves are all about, or potentially even something like the the alternating, the oscillations between good weather and bad weather. Um, I think that recognition of the value of the natural things as they are contextualized by their opposites or the other forms that they can take. I think this is a more nuanced and it's the I think it's a great evolutionary next step from just recognizing there's a thing of value. Um, I think that it's it's important for instance to recognize if you're farming, if you're extracting any sort of value from the earth, which is the pentacles, especially early on in the series, they're representing, you know, metals from the earth that you could use to make tools, food that you could grow from the earth, wood that you could chop down to make fire with and warm yourself with, or boil water with, or whatever, water that you take out of the earth, out of the rivers, out of the lakes. Um, that when it comes to considering these things, that focusing too much on just one thing, like let's say fruit grow in these trees, whatever that sort of fence with the gate is made out of, fruit grows on it. It's like recognizing that there is fruit in the world. Sure, you could get a lot out of that, but I think the two is better at serving as a reminder that there are seasons, that fruit doesn't grow year round, that recognizing that fruit exists now is as something that's valuable is it's a lot more accurate when you realize that it's not available year round and there are seasons when it's not available, and maybe during those seasons the valuable thing is the pruning and upkeep of those plants that will then produce fruit in the spring and summer, or the vegetables that will grow to fruition in the fall or whatever. Yeah, the recognition of the tide coming in and out, gives the potential for the value of either state. There are some things that are better to do when the tide is out. There are some things that are better to do when the tide is in. So it's understanding the changing and oscillating back and forth moving nature of a lot of these different things in the world, is a more balanced way of seeing value. Value between the seasons. There's some types of activities that are really great in the winter, that are highly advantageous. There are certain types of hunting, for instance, again, just working with the earth, certain types of hunting that is just way easier in the winter. Then again, all your crops are useless. You can't do any farming if you're in one of these places where the winter is cold enough, there's snow, the ground freezes. Again, I really like the way it contextualizes different periods, specifically ones that have some sort of oscillation, day and night. The advantages between the balance of those two. And yeah, so I think this card is a good reminder to contemplate when thinking about the value of any individual thing, to contemplate how much of that value comes from its relationship to its opposite state, which also has its own value, to different people at different times, people in different situations. One of the things I really like in when it comes to people's personalities is, the value of highly open individuals is mostly of high significance to people that are very closed, that are very low in openness. And the value of those really closed individuals is mostly found in people that are highly open. It's not like one is of inherent value on its own. Like that would be the mistaken way of interacting with this kind of thing. Just this singular focus of value. It's the relationship between the two that gives them. It's not like it's the only thing that gives them value, but it just gives them that deeper. I don't know, that deeper sense of value. So I think there's some stuff to contemplate today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.